think I got under Magic's skin. This morning, she tossed all the cherry yogurt off the cliff.
Why?
She heard I liked cherry yogurt.
I meant, why would she do that?
I told her twice to keep a log of every time she opens a portal. She hasn't. I may have been brisk with her the third time.
Security of the Abbey is paramount. You need to know that information.
Right, but to be perfectly honest, I don't know if we actually need to know. Feels like we should, but I might just be creating a box to fill it. Enough about that. Don't worry about the two of us beefing over yogurt. My favorite is actually the key lime.
Who prefers cherry?
Tony. He spent the morning investigating. I heard him ask Strange if ghosts eat yogurt. You can't let him know it was magic. I need to see how his hunt for the yogurt ghost plays out.
Now that the Hydra vampires have my prototype sample, I've no doubt they'll attempt to create their own sunlight serum.
Mass produce it, more like.
But where would Hydra vampires go to mass-produce sunlight serum?
Somewhere familiar to them.
How about a Hydra facility that makes the gamma goop they put in their blood?
Yes, I'm going to go with exactly like that.
How about one sending a distress signal about a vampire invasion? Might be a good place to start.
Has Hydra turned upon itself?
No, this is biology. It is a vampire's nature to betray the living.
Excuse me?
Oh, but not mine. I differ on a biological level.
Relax. It was a joke.
Sin. I should have known you were behind this.
Hold them off. We need more time. Go. Feed upon them. Let their veins bleed rivers.
Target's on. Quick work.
Fear death. Coming at you. You had your chance to escape. Close now. No escape.
Prototype. It's here. We must recover it.
One more batch. Secure it. Quickly now.
Time has come. No mercy for the servants of Lilith.
Good choice.
Nobody's to blame. I'm going for it. With me.
I'll take that.
Your prototype sample?
Indeed. And now to destroy the sunlight serum. But But it's not all here, is it?
Of course not. We manufactured so much, all transported off-site before you even arrived. This is the final batch, a reserve. I am a wolf in the night. The yapping of a mangy cur does not concern me.
Tell me where you brought the serum.
Watch that temper, little mutt. You don't want to lash out and bite the ones you love.
Tell me!
Where else, you pathetic counterfeit? I delivered it to the Lord of Vampires.
You don't know what you've done.
Oh, but I do. Dracula, my master, has enough sunlight serum to supply an army. And there's nothing you can do to stop him.
I came out here to be alone, Hunter.
Are you sure being alone is a good idea right now?
Blade sent you to check on me, didn't he? Probably didn't want to come himself because he thought we'd just end up fighting.
Is he wrong?
Of course not. And I can't promise we won't end up trading blows before the night is through, either.
If you truly wish to challenge me, I will not back down.
I've seen you in battle. I'm probably better off going after Dracula alone.
Then focus your anger at him.
They stole my work, Hunter. They perverted it for their own designs. There is an army of vampires ready to cut loose on the world, and they're all immune to sunlight. I did that, not Dracula.
You could not have known that Dracula would get his hands on your sample.
No. But I should have foreseen that he'd want it, that he would come for it.
We will fix this. Together.
You're right. Wallowing in self-pity will accomplish nothing. We must prepare to act. Oh, and Hunter, I'm sorry. My behavior tonight was beyond the pale. I wish you had not seen me like this.
If you are going to be a part of this team, you cannot continue to lash out at anyone in the Abbey.
I understand. It won't happen again.
Then we will not talk about this anymore.
Well, I would love a few quiet moments to meditate on what we've said. Unless you need something else.
Enjoy the quiet.
I'll just be here, brooding.
Hunter, I heard that you went to talk to Morbius. If it helps, I know of an infused herbal tea renowned for its calming effects.
I do not think that will be necessary, Stephen.
I must admit Morbius is an anomaly. He's no longer human, but he isn't like other vampires. He struggles to find a place he belongs.
We have given him a chance, but if he cannot fit in with the rest of the group, then he will have to find another home.
That is a fair point, but do not be too hasty. For me, Morbius has been a valuable ally in the past. I think he would be one for you as well.
You know, it sounds like you care about Morbius.
I recognize something inside of him. Our ambitions are similar. We were both obsessed with our work, with our goals. That drive eventually led to his downfall, as did mine.
Yet, you are both very different men.
But the need for spiritual recuperation affects us both. Do not be surprised that Morbius loses control. That is his crucible. He must overcome it to make peace with himself.
Coming to book club tonight?
Meet you there.
After you.
I didn't realize Steve knew the author. I really should have read this when he first asked.
I'm good if you are.
I am ready.
Before we start, I want to welcome Logan to the book club. What did you think of the book?
I didn't read it.
Okay then, guess I'll start. Steve, I really enjoyed this book.
What stood out to you?
I know people have different approaches to leading others, but I never considered what drives them to do so. Take Custer. He led from the front and was mostly loved by his troops, but his drive for personal glory affected every choice he made. Eventually, Custer picked a fight he couldn't handle. His recklessness led to the death of himself and every soldier he commanded.
It was Custer's responsibility to judge what risks his soldiers would take. His decision to fight at Little Bighorn was the wrong one, but it was his duty to make it.
Yeah, I'm not losing any sleep over that. I think the biggest lesson, beyond don't be Custer, is that an outsized ego is a double-edged sword for a leader.
Also, you can't just get through life with a pretty face.
I thought you didn't read the book.
I didn't, but I picked things up from context.
I learned more about George Washington from this book than anything I was taught in school.
Yeah, that surprised me as well.
Before this, I associated him with statues, paintings, and the dustiest parts of American history. But here we see a military leader whose personal ambition was the victory of his army. He was clear-eyed about his goals and knew how to get out of his own way. Washington led from the top, though he kept counsel with various advisors. Once he made a decision, he expected his subordinates to follow his orders.
Subordinates should always follow orders to the letter.
Unless you're commanding an army of robots, which is more common than you think, treating your people like machines is counterproductive. More than anyone else in the book, Washington believed true leadership is a contract bestowed upon you by those whom you lead.
And that's where the book gets its title?
Right. The mantle of authority. It's something that augments you.
Which brings us to our final profile.
We really don't have to do this one.
And now I'm interested.
Steve, how long have you bugged me to read this?
Not because of the chapter on me. You all know General Phillips selected me for the Super Soldier program. For a time, he commanded me in the field, and that's why my profile is in the book. He was kind to say I led by example. Maybe that's how it used to be. But the Avengers isn't a military organization. If I gave Tony an order, he'd laugh in my face. To get anything done, I need the group's consensus. I can't give pretty speeches about the need to sacrifice. I have to show that putting in the effort today will make a better tomorrow.
If you leave the choice to others, you cede your authority.
Not in my experience. I only cede my responsibility. Then the others share authority by shouldering the same burden beside me. But I find little enjoyment in talking about myself, so yeah, let's end it here.
All right, we'll call it here. Next month is Hunter. Do you have any books to suggest?
None from the past few centuries.
Then Logan could pick the next one.
Sure. The Adventures of Crash Morgan number 5, The Last Queen of Deimos.
What is that exactly?
It's about a space explorer with a ray gun, a jetpack, and a fishbowl helmet. Travels through space with a robot dog. They get in wacky adventures.
That's a classic. A buddy of mine had that in basic.
I'm always up for space nonsense.
I'm not, but that's the book. I'll give it a shot.
I'm not sure why Logan joined book club if he's not going to read the books.
You are not required to do so.
Come on, it's the principle.
I'm actually surprised Steve recommended this book.
Why?
Steve can take a compliment, but he's uncomfortable with praise, especially from someone he respects.
What did you think?
Well, the punch is decent, but there should have been a bigger spread.
I meant, what did you think about book club?
I just told you. Thumbs up for punch, thumbs down for snacks.
Well, at least Logan showed up.
You did not think he would?
I wasn't sure he'd be into book club, and I don't know what to expect from that book of his.
I have never encountered a title so expansive.
That's one way to put it, but maybe we shouldn't judge it by its cover.
I already regret having to read Logan's book.
If the bar's that low, it won't take much to clear it.
Good point.
You headed out?
I am taking off.
Good meeting. How did it go with Morbius? Is he slipping?
Relax, Blade.
That man is a walking bomb. Maybe the fuse isn't lit, but I don't want to be caught holding him when he explodes.
This is a delicate situation. The best thing we can do now is keep a close eye on him.
You can't tell because of the shades, but I haven't taken my eyes off him.
I am surprised, Blade. You and Morbius are not that different. I thought you knew the darkness with which he wrestles. I thought you would empathize with him.
I do know that darkness. That's why I'm worried. Morbius can't kill the monster inside. He can only continue to build a cage around it. He didn't ask for this curse, and he wouldn't wish it on anyone.
Are you still talking about Morbius?
Just watch your back, Hunt.
Someone is griefing me, Hunter.
We must fight this head on.
Thank you. Peter said to just let it go, but it happens every friggin' game. I team up with them, they don't shoot at anything, spam my chat, and eventually just kill me.
Oh, I assumed you were talking about the Norwegian gravitas curse. Why not change teammates?
I tried, but they use different tags every time. Bach for life, centuries of slumber, mom slayer, dragoons are goons. All the same person, all are targeting me.
It is Peter.
No way.
Why would he tell you, as you phrased it, to just let it go?
Yeah, why would he tell me to let it go?
He enjoys this trickery. Perhaps it is part of a bigger game to him, and he awaits your move.
I see you, Peter. I see you. And it's game on.
I want to talk to you about Steve.
Uh-oh. What did he do?
Huh? Nothing. I actually like him.
But you do not like anybody.
That is true. But even I'm allowed to be surprised by people sometimes.
What did you find surprising about Steve?
Even when he barely knew us sons, he stood up for us. Can't say I ever had that on my bingo card. I told him he doesn't act like a boomer, despite the giant American flag on his chest. He laughed, so we're good. He's one of the good ones. Just don't go around telling everyone.
Getting word of another attack. Vampires in Central Park. Right before dawn. Can you imagine?
Dawn?
I knew this was coming. Just not so soon.
The city is in enough chaos.
We'll handle it. No problem.
Ah, Blade. Ever the optimist, hmm?
Look at them. The sun will be up any minute now.
They don't seem to care.
Then let's make them care.
Your time has come. Mercy for the servants of Lilith.
Time to bleed.
They do not fear the sun.
I'll give them something to fear.
No. Allow me!
I'll remember you.
Now remember,
No one is to blame but yourself. I smell you.
This be your lucky shot. Is that really the best you can do? You asked for it.
I am
Tools of the trade.
Lost children, you disappoint us, betray us, shed the blood of your own.
No one hurts you more than family.
Join us in the light. We won't ask again.
you won't. But not for the reason you think.
I don't understand. Why aren't you
To mass-produce the serum, you diluted my sample. Yes, it protected you from the sunlight, but each use of your powers burned more of it away. You are, as they say, running on fumes. And when those expire, so do you.
This isn't over.
It is, for now. Unless you'd care to stay for a walk in the park.
Back to the sewer, where he belongs.
Are you disappointed we didn't destroy him?
Nah, he always comes back. But knowing he's got to live with that humiliation almost makes it worth knowing you.
Congratulations, Hunter. Dracula's vampires suffered a major loss today.
You deserve the credit, Doctor. You did good work today.
The sunlight serum is so diluted it no longer poses a threat. The vampires have been cast back into the night, where they belong. I don't think I can properly express my relief. Hunter, if you had not been there to lean on throughout all this, I do not know how I would have survived.
This is a small victory and worth celebrating, but a greater threat still looms over us.
Of course, I may be getting too far ahead of myself. Hunter, you should know that I will remain committed to the Midnight Sun's greater mission. You all helped me in my time of need. It is only fair that I return the favor.
Your support is much appreciated.
Marvelous. But before we move on, we must make one final decision regarding the sunlight serum.
We?
Oh, yes. I value your guidance. My prototype sample is no more, but I still possess my research notes. I could continue my experiments in the hopes of curing myself and maybe others, unless the risk of it falling into the wrong hands seems too great.
I know the cost is great, but we cannot risk letting that information fall into the wrong hands. You must look for a cure elsewhere.
I was worried you would feel that way. But I will honor the request. I have carried this cross for many years. I am used to the weight.
I am sorry. It is for the best.
Never apologize for doing the right thing, Hunter. I'll see you around.
Shop class is supposed to meet tonight.
So just the two of us?
Actually, when I asked Parker, he mentioned you stopped by. Said he could convince Robbie if I could get you to show.
I'm sure everyone has something to say.
Maybe. But I already said too much. I have to fix this.
We should not keep them waiting.
Time to face the music.
So, what did you want?
A do-over? And to apologize for the last time.
It's a nice sentiment, but a do-over doesn't have much appeal for either of us.
Yeah, I don't understand why we should keep giving you chances.
You shouldn't. Not if you don't want to. But hear me out, okay? I've been the person in charge for years. When I'm stressed, I can steamroll people who never expected it, and certainly don't deserve it.
That's what assholes say. To justify their behavior so they can keep being assholes.
Half of the Avengers agree with you. Look, nothing I did was justified. I was a jerk. And I'm sorry.
Okay.
Look, when you take away all the trappings of ungodly wealth, I'm just a guy who likes to make things. None of my friends were into this stuff. I was the only kid who saw beauty in exhaust manifolds, who spent hours poring over the guts of a microprocessor. That's all I want here, to make things with friends. As long as that's still an option.
That's the whole idea behind this? Okay, here's how we make this work. Tony Stark, CEO, is banned from shop class.
But making things, Tony? The guy we're talking to right now? He can stay.
That's more than fair.
Took Tony long enough to figure out shop class, huh? I thought his suit had the thicker skull.
I always believed Tony would do the right thing.
That's where we differ. But I'm glad to be wrong. I'll let you get to it. Parker can't wait to dive in.
Well, that was less painful than expected. Thanks for coming, Hunter. We all needed to, clear the air.
Glad that's over with. Feuding with Tony Stark is not an achievement I care to unlock. So, how about we make something new? Another day for retooling. We have a few more ideas in the backlog if you want to check them out. I finally have a use for the components you handed me. I'm ready to put this together. How about you?
I am ready.
Parker's creative drive is amazing. Seeing how he tackles a problem gives me ideas of my own. And Robbie has the right intuition when it comes to putting these prototypes together. I thought he was being overcautious, but that's a crafter's care. Wish I'd seen it earlier.
Look, I don't want to brag, but I think this is our best work. Yeah, I know, blah blah, teamwork, blah blah blah, but still, it's impressive what we can do when we all work together.
You know, I might stay for a bit more. I want to finish an adjustment to the Hell Ride. Let me know when you're ready to take off.
I am ready to go.
It seems we can finally put this ordeal with Morbius's serum behind us.
Thankfully, we have more important things to focus on now.
Hunter, thank you for not being overly harsh with Morbius.
I only did what seemed right at the time.
I would say you are wise beyond your years, but you have more years than most of us put together. Maybe that's what makes you so discerning.
And still no wrinkles.
Indeed. I am just glad that Morbius found some peace of mind. I am familiar with that journey. It's not easy. Be proud of your part in that, Hunter.
You were right, Blade. Morbius proved very useful today.
You know, even I'm impressed that he stared down Dracula.
So, did the two of you bury the hatchet?
We're not exactly friends, but I appreciate his experience in the field.
Sounds like someone is developing a grudging respect for the living vampire.
Okay, sure. Just don't tell him I said that.
You know grudging respect is the first step to real friendship.
It's time to drop this, Hunter.
Can't believe I'm saying this aloud, but I think I figured out Dracula's master plan.
Go on.
There is a Lilith connection, but it's not direct. Dracula is acting like he knows the world is coming to an end. Didn't expect him to be an apocalypse prepper, but here we are. Think of every play he's backed so far. Some of his plans overlap, right?
I had noticed that.
That's because he's throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. It doesn't matter what plans fail. As long as one succeeds, he wins. The good news is, we're foiling his plans faster than he's setting them in motion. If we keep nipping these buds, he'll have nothing left. Let's debrief on the latest. Looks like Dracula's plan went up in smoke. See what I did there?
I do. Is the sunlight serum truly gone?
Dracula still has a supply, but it's barely effective, as you experienced. For a master plan, this one was a real dud.
If sunlight serum remains in the world, we need to find and destroy it.
If we weren't also fighting your mom, sure, but a wild goose chase is the last thing we need. Instead, we keep an ear out for the goose. Central is tracking all mention of the sunlight serum or anything like it. Unless it finds something, I think we're done here. Anything else on your mind?
Thanks, Carol.
Catch you later.